Hello Blender folks, welcome back. I'm Gnomes and we are going to continue. This is number 2 of this live stream. Of course rigging retakes for a long time, but and experimentalism, but here is for facial expressions, particularly the eyes expressions of this character I'm adapting from 2D style to 3D style. Alright, so where we were at. Basically, last thing I was doing is that there is some cavity here which is a bit too bad, as these vertices here, as they snap onto the eye. There, you see it's not an eyeball, it's an eye surface mesh object. As they snap on top of it, they go too far behind, and then it's create this cavity. And because that vertex is responsible for this connection here with the eyelash, so I cannot have this kind of cavity here. So excessive cavity there. It's, although anatomically maybe not entirely incorrect, this will be bad for this case of interpenetrations. Alright, so what I'm going to do, unfortunately making this change will probably have me make more adjustments on this eye contour here manually, but yes, I'm readjusting the character design. So I did it from the eye was very small. It ended up that in relation to the model sheet that we see here, at least for the front, the eye that I was having in 3D was too small. I had to expand it, and yeah, and then as I was expanding there too, I had to have this object expanded with the help of a surface lattice. We'll have to reuse it. You'll see what it will do. Hold on, where it is here. Alright, so we go on edit mode for it. We'll have to probably, to solve that cavity, we'll have to push all these things to the side, but because this is not there are no symmetric controllers here for this. Oh, there's a mirror thing. Not sure this would work, but what is interactive mirror? There's nothing. Mirror selected items around one, or no, this is not dynamic. I wanted some option here that would like a mirror modifier that will be always working. Apparently there's not something like that for the lattice itself. Yeah, so there's not, I don't know, maybe there's a way, I just don't know. So I cannot move this like that, it won't affect the other side. So I'll select everything. I'll just rescale on the x-axis, global. So you see that there are slightly deforms happening on the mesh, because actually the eyes, these eyes, both left and right eye surface mesh objects, they are targets for a shrink wrap modifier on the mesh. More specifically, what I mean is that here we have these, you see these seams here. If I select the mesh that is inside the seam, this mesh here, all these vertices are, they are eyelids mesh. There's be something like here, but they are actually they have a shrink wrap modifier here. The modifier is here for the body, and it shrink wraps the eyelids mesh onto the eye surface. So this is why as I shrink wrap, yes, that's it. There we go, for the left and the right too, even though the vertex group for the left, for the right eyelids, there's nothing, because this is the way I found to have, when you have mirrored mesh, you have a left and a right side. The left side, the real side you get mesh assigned to it, and the right side has nothing. And that works. You just have to target this empty vertex group, but the naming convention must be correct. Alright, and then we have right and left, and they are exactly the same except for the targets. Yeah, there's a vertex group for each of them, whatever. And yes, they target a different mesh object, of course. This targets this eye, and this targets the other eye. I cannot mirror the eye, because then the mirrored mesh would use the same UV symmetrized in real time. That means that I could not, at least I didn't found a way, so I cannot move the eyes independently. They would move always symmetrically, so this is not what we want for rigging. That's why in this case I need two eyes. Otherwise I'd prefer the mirrored eyes too, but since I don't know if there's a way to address this thing, this automatic symmetrization, so be it. Two eye surfaces, while the rest of the mesh is mirrored in principle. Alright, so here I pick on edit mode the lattice. This is the lattice stuff, and so it will expand this, because I believe, well, if I expand this well enough, it won't cause much trouble in the inner side. Yeah, apparently this is safe. I just must be careful enough so that the eye do not like get out of the head, right? So it must kind of follow. Yeah, there is this pointy part, but we can solve this. I just think if I do this thing correctly, maybe I could push these vertices forward a little too. Hold on, what's happening here? So as I push this thing, oh, it is snapping. This is bad. Maybe I hope I didn't make a horrid mistake here, but we can check if something got really wrong. Then this won't be opposite. There will be different values here. No, it seems to be correct. Okay, so now no, those vertices or whatever they are for lattice, they weren't disrupted. They remain symmetric, so that's fine. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to see, because if I push this forward, I'm assuming that it will be easier to get this cavity disappear. And yeah, this affects the eye moving forward. Actually, this can be dangerous for character design. So let's Control Z a little. Let's see, try to move them individually. I need to see here. Okay, so these transforms don't seem to be very bad for the frontal position. There's some slight change. We can compensate that by doing this. And for this part, can we also push that? Oh, these are responsive for, okay. So maybe this is not very relevant. It's more, I believe, these ones, because they are more directly, immediately related to that top part. So we see I have a lot of interpenetrations here, so this is not adequate. Maybe we have to, but for the cavity it seems to have mostly vanished, so we kind of fixed the issue but created other issues. So let's try to solve this by, or alternatively I can, or additionally to that, I can also expand this mesh, but I think the eye is too close here to the, so let's just, okay, this is getting better. I think a little more, just slightly more. Okay, maybe even more. Alright, so now apparently that cavity has disappeared. For the character design I need to see the, okay, so I have the frontal view here. Looks a bit weird. Maybe I have to, yeah, I'm addressing this. I haven't finished this thing. I need to reassess the contour of the eye from the front view after those changes, and but at least that thing, that cavity seems to be, so let's make a test. I'll push this vertices front. Some bad behavior is happening there, but okay, this is not exactly the character design, but it can work, but I'm gonna do much better than that. After this change, probably I can protrude these things. I can smooth, then yeah, I can pick all this face loop and smooth. And then here, yes, here we'll have to make a lot of work here. Now let's enable that. By the way, here is snap to face project and include non-edited. So this will add this will include this eye surface there, this mesh object. Now I'm snapping to whatever there is behind, and what is behind immediately is that. So now let's see if there's the cavity. Yes, there's a smaller cavity. This seems to work. I want for the character design that to be pointy. The angle here to do this from the viewport is not very simple. And you see, I have some difficulty in getting the proper shape. We'll have probably to make some changes here. Maybe this is too low. Yeah, maybe these faces are too low. I'm not gonna use proportional editing here, because then they will push, including the connected mesh of the eyelids that is snapped to the eye surface right now. They would unsnap, and that would be bad, right? So I need to work with them separately, unless I want to, unless I'm prepared to resnap this mesh later, like that, and just G and repose. This will snap everything back to normal, in case I want to certify that all these vertices for the eyelids mesh are snapped to the eye surface. So the shape is not very good now. Yeah, it needs to be maybe more pointy. This I will fix later, in a moment. I mean, yeah, we can. What I want to do now is the following, folks. I need to. Yeah, something I should have done before. I need to find a way to have this grease pencil shine in. Here it's slightly better to see, maybe. Yeah, no. So, how? Do you have any idea? I think I will create a modifier for that or something. Okay, so the grease pencil is here. Grease pencil, there we go. So I'm addressing the front one. So let's see what it looks like. So it has a color, but it doesn't respond, unfortunately, so this is not going to be useful. It's in front, yes, already in front. On solid it doesn't work very well. The annotations were better for that before I turned this into a grease pencil. Showing viewports, yes. Not selected, renders, no. Use light. Okay, this sounds relevant. And mask, I don't know what, that must be some option there. Holdout, I remember there's some holdout stuff there, I think. Yeah, this thing, not sure how to use it. So not this, custom properties. Let's see modifiers then, or data. So I have grease pencil. We can hide this layer. We use mask, no. Blend hard light. Oh yes, maybe something like that. Add. What about this view here? Opacity. All right. So subtract, no. Multiply, no. Divide, no. Use lights, no. So regular. I need kind of to double it, so adjustments, tint color. Doesn't seem to help, at least not in this. Yeah, so factor. Oh, factor. All right. Stroke thickness. This can help. All right. So found it. Adjustments. There we go. So I want this to be not too bold. It will be confusing, but just. Yeah, this tint factor is the essence of what I need. So let's do already for everything here. So I'm gonna pick this. Yeah, we want different colors anyways. So factor 1 and side. Here tint color. Let's get something like bluish, but more. And that's it. That. Oh, I didn't make for the side view. Okay, so for the side view, let's pick something else. Let's get some color like that. And there we go. And one here. Yeah, annoying. I would prefer to have this as default. Anyways. So now, yeah, no, this one doesn't look very fine. This blue is too dark. Let's get something more appropriate here. Yeah, this looks fine. Yes, finally. So it's on the data, object data properties tab, and then grease pencil object layers. No, yeah, layers panel, and no need effects, just tint color, factor, stroke thickness. In annotations is much easier. You just get there, you just find out view annotation, just have everything there, right? Like here. So it's much simpler to not get confused. Alright, but not using annotation anymore. They caused me too much trouble in reiteration of the. Oh, by the way, look at this curve here that I've made here. Oh, this is probably. So perhaps the proportions here are slightly tweaked in this model after many iterations. I'll probably have to reassess these shapes. We can do this right now, by the way. But let's finish the eyes first. Now that I have finally this Oh, this blue is bad. Yeah, the blue is bad. Let's do it again. Let's pick another. Let's pick another color here. Let's go for something yellowish. Is that good? I think that's good. Yeah, still confusing to see there, but we understand. Yeah, I can understand. All right. Unfortunately, when I remade the grease pencil, I decided to make it the mirrored side, so bad. We'll have to struggle just a little with that, but okay, we have the snapping. Let's try to consolidate. Here this thing is a little bad. I'll have to redraw this if I want to, but I'm focusing on the curve, so this part didn't get much disrupted, so it's more like here. This could go more downwards. I think this could go more according to what I know from my own character design, right? Here, be careful, I need to pick these ones. Yeah, I think this mesh could be redistributed slightly to the top. Let's re-enable screencast. Yeah. So here, oh, I need to check the model sheet there. So here, let's bring it, redistribute this mesh geometry more to the. I don't want to see this stuff here. Navigate, not now. So this thing, let's bring it. Now I have two options, in my opinion, for the character in 3D. Either I keep it going up, or I can perhaps make a slight curve downwards, and eyelash will take care of the rest, right? If this pointy part is not the eye, this is already the eyelash. So this is eyelash. Actually, maybe I made something wrong here. Yeah, this doesn't need to go that up. Let's remark these positions here. Am I snapping? Yes, I am snapping. And there. Oh, actually, I see. This is the vertex. That's, yeah, I was using the wrong vertex as a reference. Okay, but we can see the mesh, right? The mesh has different color even in this state. It's a bit messed up, but we okay, this can fall down like that. That sounds okay. Now we should be careful. Of course, this is quadratic, like that, because it's not. We do not see the subdivisions in here. Hell, what's going on? Oh, of course, this is still all right. Yeah, no subdivisions. That's why this is all messed up like that. So bad to see what I'm working, right? Let's see if can I solve this with, although we know this often is not the best thing to work with, maybe this helps in this particular case, right? I hope this helps. This okay, so I need to put that edge here to more or less encounter with the line there, the yellow line. I was doing differently. Okay, so here this can go up, but I think here already I can start going down, right? This shouldn't be too bad. Then here, for this one, stuff got a bit disrupted there. Let's see. Okay, this seems to be working. Then about these, the arrangement of the mesh here, I can do that later, right? These refinements here I'm doing, this is not really necessary right now. I'm concerned with the overall shape. So here what I can work with, let's see. Yeah, the eye goes down up to here, then it starts to going up, that's fine. Here this part, it could be just like that, so no big issue here. Have to go further away from the camera. Here I have this, we can have it larger like that or upper like that. I think somewhere in between, because it's a bit rough there, it's not very clear what I wanted in the, even in the model sheet. It's not a good idea to do when you're making a model sheet, but drawing the computer in, for me, model sheet is always a challenge for me. For precision, it's very hard sometimes to achieve. It's a bit too stiff on those regular poses, so not very organic sometimes, and so it's a bit complicated to do exacting model sheets. Sometimes I had to make for this character tons of iterations of model sheets until I was successful. And that I mean from model sheet 2D to 3D, then sometimes learning something from the 3D shapes I've modeled and then re-engaging the model sheet. Oh, the model sheet can change the original. I can improve my original model sheet thanks to some things I've found out while modeling, working on 3D, right? This is the same for sculpting, real sculpting, not just a 3D CG matter. So we can retroactively learn from one language to the other, 2D to learn 3D, 3D to learn 2D. It can be helpful in both ways. Okay, so here now this thing is getting a bit strange, so I need to, yeah, you see what it did there. Let's reorganize this mesh here. I'm always snapping for these ones. This is a little bad, but we're snapping right now. I won't touch that in these conditions. Here I can, you see that curve there, it was for the original circle of this model, so this probably means that, I'm not even sure if this is correct. Is this correct? Let's see. Yes, this sounds correct. So this means that I could have more space here, right? I could be doing some, and this will help avoid any interpenetration. So let's unhide the whole thing here. Of course, for this I'd better hide the eyelashes mesh so I can see everything. Let's expand just a little. Now these mirrors, right? We can use some smoothing. This arm is in the way, so probably better have to hide everything there. The ear also, we could address that another moment, but we can do that just for a moment. Then yeah, so here this mesh is not very well placed, so let's adapt these things. Let's see again. Oh yes, you see now that these curves makes the shape of the head now is more adequate to that part. Here we could get this mesh close. I'm not snapping closer to the eye, right? I think this was wrong. Yeah, can probably do something like that. If I pick this face loop, I can probably make some smoothing, same as here. Well, this goes downwards, so this is dangerous. Let's deselect that and just smooth out this part. Perhaps I can put that same here. There's the same issue, so let's deselect. That's from here to here we unselect, and then smooth this. Yeah, that'll take more time to fix, but I'm making major changes here just to have the overall shape better. Here I have a pentagon, that's it. Maybe this is not a good idea. What's happening there? Probably had this for the ear, another. So where was the pentagon? This one? Or that one? Hold on, let me hide the ear again. Oh, there we go. Yes, a pentagon into a triangle. What's the purpose of this triangle? Okay, maybe it's required. Yeah, certainly there are a better way to organize this, so let's see if I can solve this in any ways. Okay, this triangle is not like that. This triangle is like that, so it's not actually a pentagon, it's just a triangle. Alright, so not a pentagon. I was wrong. Alright, so no big trouble. Then let's pick this. This mesh is annoying. Maybe I can make it different now. But the priority here, anyways, right now the priority is readjusting. Yeah, okay, so we need to see the cavity. Now I can do this, yes, let's take this risk. This is the last... okay, I'll have to hide some mesh there, otherwise it will be very hard to understand what's going on, and also dangerous for the work we are doing here. So here, what I need to do, I want to pick this one, and I'm going to, without this, I'm going to smooth this out, right, smooth a lot. Then I pick the eyelids mesh, and then with the thing selected, I will just move and grab and click. There you go. So everything is snapped. So this for the outer edge ring, this should, that probably would have gotten unsnapped. Now it's snapped again. Now I can make some adjustments here. Yes, no, not this. Apparently I got some confusion here on these vertices. Let's reorchestrate that better. It's not absolutely important that this gets reorganized perfectly, but usually I think it's beneficial. Things start to go wrong, then if it's not organized, then can complicate even more work. So here this eyelid mesh is collapsed like that, so it's a rest position, right, for the eyelids, the eyes open, right? This is already fixed, just make sure this is snapped. Here is a bit chaotic, we can even use the same orientations there or similar. Right, nearly finished that part. I'm leaving that one, the inner one, with more distance from the other ones, because this, in terms of wave painting, that will carry the eyelid, is the most important one. It will stretch the eyelid, especially those on the top and the bottom. The side ones are really not that important, so they can be, but it still be better to wave paint them if they are slightly apart. Because this is the vertex we should wave paint like max value. Alright, so let's see. Let's assess this for a front view. Looks good, adequate for the character design. That's that thing seems to be a little wrong. The drawing here is a bit confusing, but it's likely it could go. No, and I know it's not. Oh yes, it is. Apparently the okay, so in terms of, there's no armature of influence right now because we are on edit mode for the mesh object. So this is a pure rest position. What happens here is that the bones for the eyes, I have to replace them on, according to this change, they are making deforms on pose mode, on object mode, so we need, but still this is the original pose. I just want to see if the subdivision, okay, the subdivision gives us that. Of course the eyelash has slightly, starts from here, the bottom eyelash, so of course there will be some loss of white space, I mean sclera, I think. Of course the eyelash will start a little upper from this, but that's okay. That's for me that's okay. However, what is not okay is that we'll have to address the armature, right? Reposition those bones. They are, what's happening there? Some craziness going on. Okay, but it's not the time. I'm gonna hide the armature because we still need to assess the side view and probably even a 3/4 view. That since I have, let's make use of that. So first the side view, and we must be careful because as we are working on multiple views on certain character designs. Yeah, there might be some differences even from the model sheet, so this can be annoying in this case. Okay, so let's hide that. Let's start working on the mesh. There's a lot of space here that is wrong, so if I just move this back like on the global y-axis, this shouldn't affect the frontal view, this organization, this position here, because those vertices will just be going back and forth. They won't change their, how to say, x and z axis positions. So nothing will change from this viewport. Since we are here, let's already change this. You see, sometimes we can't just rely on the model sheet. I have to reassess this. Maybe the 3D model is better than the 2D model in this case. And sometimes we need to make adaptation. Oh, I'm snapping. Terrible thing, terrible thing. I hope I didn't snap anything though. Alright, so now this part is looking better, the bottom of the eye. Let's see. Yes, much more interesting now. And this thing, oh, this is terrible. Let's push it forward. And this, yes, this will create the cavity there that we should be careful about. Okay, smoothing out these faces. This part looks very disorganized, right? So slowly we'll get this right. This part of the head is not supposed to deform. So these things are not probably going to have any sort of interpenetrations. It's more this part of the face that can that we should be careful in relation to interpenetrations with the eyes. Alright, so what I was going to do next here, I'm going to save. Oh yes, the side view. Okay, so I need this side to be. I barely see the colors there, so I need to reassess this. This color is not doing me much favor, so let's see if I can. I don't want it to be the same color as the yellow one, so let's pick that color, but let's augment this thing. Yeah, now I see better. Alright. So, much better now. What I need, although a bit confusing, what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to, while snapping, I'll move this. Yes, it's okay that I move them a little up and down too. Then I can reassess here if it's still looking good. So, in this case, these vertices also should be moving apart, so all the shape is going to suffer some changes. We can probably do that. This not? Also can have some redistribution there. That looks okay. This looks plausible. Here, I know these faces are moving down to the ear, apparently. That's okay. Don't see why it should be. Well, we could make them go more like that, right? Yeah, alright. Then this part, also we can have it go like that. Here I must be careful, I don't know what I'm working with. This starts to go inwards, maybe it's odd, so time to give some smooth out of these vertices here. Same with this. Alright. Front view, maybe this sounds a bit weird now. I could risk some proportional editing, but you see then it's dangerous, too dangerous in this case. Unless I could protect here, and I'm not sure if I can protect this thing. Let's see what happens. Okay, so this is a way to protect, but it's a bit bizarre, right? But if it works, it works. The shapes of the head, you see, maybe this head, these reassessments here are not incorrect, but I must be careful about that. Maybe the head should be shorter. Anyways, here I can probably expand this thing, this cheekbone, right? Yeah, but let's go back to the main thing, which is the eye contour, right? We'll handle the rest later. It will even be another topic, right? So here, you see how this is different, right? So in this case, if I open up a vertical, of course I did these adjustments already as the first time I've modeled the character, right? But after many changes, rigging stuff, I ended up having many what's happening there? It looks like I'm picking wrong vertices. Okay, let's do this instead. Oh, it's the proportional editing, of course. Very dangerous stuff. Alright, so let's see what happens here. Of course I cannot have this follow there, it will be dramatic. So what I need to assess here, what is better? Is this better? Does this looks, I'll have to hide this for a moment. Does this look okay? Yeah, I think this looks okay for that curve here. I think it's nice. So this is, I believe it's better. So I'll keep that. I'll ignore many things here. That part also too pointy. I have made up my mind that, so it will be curvy. So this is a case where I should probably have to even remake this if I wanted, right? An ideal model sheet. I can reassess the 2D model sheet thanks to the final adaptation, let's say, of the. So this is a cool thing. I'd probably like to do that, but not now. Maybe on another live, maybe another day. So what is not good apparently is this part. So this, I want to push these things back. Let's take off the snapping here. Let's use snapping again. Yes, I can use control, but then I want to press shift also to make smoother motion. And so having actually this side eyelids, they can be much smaller than the rest. So maybe I should collapse this way more than the others. Looks more looks better to me. Here there are some things from the side view which are really bad, so let's rearrange this mesh here. Here too we see that this is probably not good, so it's hiding, right? The curve here is not very nice. Yeah. Now this is better. Same here. We can have this kind of thing, but this shouldn't, because, well, this could cause this thing. This is not absolutely a bad idea, but I think we can prevent this. Because this happens, right? But it will be more like a facial expression, right? I want something more neutral. I think it's fine if we just prevent this to happen from. And then here we can approach this. And yeah, we can give some curve here, curvature, and here there's a different curvature. All right, now let's address with the snapping. Now that we have more space here to work, I can push this towards that direction. Here I will totally start to make this mesh collapsed and facing upwards, so it will be a kind of change of the orientation, right? It was maybe even more, right? Because alright, starts to look good. Then here, now according to the character design, the model sheet, there are some shaky lines. I see something there, but this sounds to be a straight line. It preferred that not to be that low, while here I have this very low. So here I have a difficulty to know what is the, this is where the grid maybe is helpful. It's hard to know now exactly what is the grid. I need to align the grids. How can I ever do that? The model sheets are more or less aligned. So for example, if I get the nose there, the tip of the nose should be that square, something like that. Yes, there's a better way to do this. Hold on, let me show. I can hide here, then resplit vertical split, then they are exactly the same size. Then what I need to do now is, like, I think I messed up. I need to navigate only using plus 3 times, then control the sides, right? So here we go forward, and so yes, character design that I've made, usually the head should go, yeah, I could expand the head some. This is kind of old thing, strange enough, but let's continue here. Let's see. What I was willing to do was to 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I got some displacements. No, this is correct. Is that right? Yes, this seems right. So I wanted to see the matching of this. All right. So you see where my cursor is. There's some. So okay, this matches more or less fine. So there it's as this line here. Okay, so this means the following. Apparently, I can disrupt this thing. It just means that this part is very lower, and that can be slightly upper. We can even not that lower thing here, and then this starts to grow up, to move up pretty fast. Same here, and then we have, of course, the orientations here I should improve. Let's use this here. No need to be facing inwards, it should be more upwards. I think it will be better. Here the eyelid can be a bit thicker, and I shouldn't be watching this mesh. It was the eyelid's border. It was the continuation of this of the eyelids mesh. Alright, so this thickness is fine. This orientation is fine. This thickness is okay. Maybe here I could collapse this more, something like that. Alright, that looks fine. Here maybe this curve can get here, and this can be more close to that, and then this less collapsed, something pointing up, this pointing up but more to that. Okay, so this is a good reorganization, and then here perhaps inwards. I think it will be safer to do that. This is from a side view perspective, right? Yes. So it's okay, it's natural that this is very collapsed from that part. Just make very small adjustments here. There. This might not be really necessary here. Yeah, okay, let's leave it like that. This looks to have fixed. Let's save and let's see how it is looking now. Alright, so why am I seeing this? what mesh is that one though? That is eyelids mesh, bottom eyelid. Okay, if we look that and materials, there we go. So that's fine. Alright, this is working. Let's go now for the 3/4. Not that I think that will be very, very critical to what we're working on. Let's make a backup here. I mean, another, it will be 73 iteration. That's I's expression. Yes, okay. Then let's take the music, restart that thing, and going back here, yeah, 3/4 view. So let's pick that, get off object mode. Let's go on the object there. We see it's there, and so 1, 2, 3, 5. 5 is the keypad number 5. Alright, so let's hide this and this. Okay, so this hypothetical 3/4 view not really working so well in 3D viewport. The head here we see is expanding upwards according to character. The eye here is also very expanded. This is a bit problematic. The chin could be lower, and this part could be smaller. I think most importantly the head should go back. Yeah, there should be more protrusion to the back of the head, and I'm concerned about this part of the eye. Of course, this is an orthographic view. This is a perspective view. So for the perspective view, it's not so terrible. Of course, this is the bottom eyelash that is too big. Alright, so I'm assessing the character design, the size of the eyes. It sounds like I'm a bit concerned the eye is too big now. For a front view it's nearly okay. Then from oh, there's some stuff going on here. Okay, what is the side view? Oh, of course, this is suffering transforms. This should be this is actually what I need to be looking at. Without the deforms and with the subdivision surface. Of course, it's difficult to see what's going on with all this mesh. Maybe if I okay, so what can I get from this? Yeah, I must admit the eyes, they got a bit too large to... her normal pose looks like she's scared. And so but if I reduce the eye, I'll have that problem. Not necessarily, so that will be, I have to investigate further. Subdivision, where's the subdivision? Okay, so I know why that happened. That happened because I've changed the mesh there without seeing the upper part. I have to readjust. Oh, this is snapping. Alright, so really complicated to get this very precise, so we solve some issues and get others. But it's funny, it's a challenge, it's very interesting, and certainly this is not enough to, hardly not enough to have me give up on making this adaptation. No, we are just in the beginning here. I just wish that I had more experience doing this and an easier way solving those problems. Alright, so apparently there's some yeah, we could be more ruthless in those things at some point. Yeah, the size of the eye. Okay, so what I want to do here, I need to address, let's assume this readaptation is okay, right? For the eye contour, right? Yes, it's not perfect, I think I can improve, but I cannot assess everything properly if my bones are displaced. So I probably will require to readdress the bone structures, right? These are eyelash bones, and probably they, yeah, lots of bones here needs to be readdressed. So here we have some bendy bones. Let's start moving these ones. Okay, so these are bendy bones for, hold on, need to use median. I don't need this thing here anymore. Hold on, let me see, use that. Okay, so this is already wrong. This could cause some issues, some incoherences when we are posing. I need to snap here actually. Okay, snap like that. These bones don't need to be snapping on the face, they can be directly snapping onto the eyebrow mesh, right? This is not a problem. And that last one also, let's put it somewhere like there, why not? Okay, that's fine. What about the rows of these bones? I shouldn't touch it. Apparently they are z-axis pointing forward, right? What about these ones? Same orientation, same orientation. Okay, so this is okay. Even though, is that correct for posing, I mean? Let's see if they behave properly. Okay, though nothing seems wrong here. We just need to perhaps reset this thing. Really annoying, these things. And there we go. So it's the eyelashes in the front, but here we go. Alright, so this is reset. First thing that we fixed. For the eye contour bones here, their positioning might be a bit weird, right? They seem too high. Not that this will make a lot of difference, but I must respect there's some logic here, I think, that is better to be followed. So let's instead, oh, I need to snap. Alright, so snap here. I think they should be more around more regular here. They seem too far from the too offset, right? And there too, yeah, too offset indeed. So this should go more down here. Let's use this thing to be sure. I could have more. How do you say? Could use more bone stuff here, right? Bendy bone segments, right? 5. Now let's give it 7. 7. Then for the side 3. Why this has so many? This might be old. Just 3 is okay for that part. That one has 10. Okay, this is a very important part. 10. All right, this sounds okay. So that's good. These ones probably you can bring them closer to the eyebrow. Yeah, maybe just somewhere like that makes sense. Then here, this more closer to, okay, they are crossing the eyebrow here. Just try to attempt some logic here, some regularity. This could be more here or more here. I think more here. The eyebrow seems a bit too small on that edge. Let's change the eyebrow mesh. Let's go on the eyebrow here. Let's select it, and the eyelashes in the front. Let's go here and just use some mask here just for that. Yes. This mesh really could. Let's use proportional editing even. No more proportional editing, it might be ruining our... Okay, let's snap everything. Here, okay, is that good? No, from a front view, maybe it should... tip down at the end before it... Well, I should look at the character design, right? I don't remember from... Let's see. No, it's not wrong what it's doing. In 3D might be a bit strange. What about the side view? I believe the side view has something else to tell. No, not here. Oh, I didn't draw the eyebrow, but if I were to draw, I think... Yeah, to go far here. And also here would be different. Okay, so I can use this... I can probably have some... Like if I were drawing manually here, I can have some idea. Here I really don't understand, so this can tip down, of course, but this can go up, this can go up. It feels like the eyebrow is too tiny, too thin. It's okay if it doesn't follow perfectly that face, the flow of the faces. It's bizarre, but we don't see the wireframe, right? So looking here, we don't see any problem, right? If we look that way, we see, oh, this is a bit strange, this crossing. We'd prefer not to have this, right? But doesn't look bad. Maybe I can still move this. Yeah, maybe I can still make some changes here, like that. Maybe this bit up. Why not? Then let's try to adapt. Tip down more this one. Let's try to make this rescale a bit larger, though not these ones, just for the other ones. Let's see now. Now this, yeah, I see why it's not a bad idea to have this kind of be displaced. Really looks like it's important from a side view perspective. Okay, so some vertices here not willing to be selected. Okay, and then the rest could be the reshape of the head itself, right? So we can, maybe we can, yeah, I'm trying to, what's actually happening is that I'm trying to reshape the eyebrow as even the head itself requires some retakes. So this should be good enough. Now for the bones, we can at least get some readjustments there. Here, yeah, somewhere here, and then this we can totally place it like, let's rotate more and place it like nearly at the end. There we go, something like that. And derotate that, yeah, so it don't float too much, right? Same here. And yes, and then last thing, last retouch here. Yeah. Okay, I messed up. Derotate again. As soon as I get this, no, it doesn't get the, I got displaced it from the top of the, okay, and then derotate. There we go. I think this will work. Then we go on pose mode. Let's reset those things. Alright, that's good for the eyebrow. Let's go for the next organizational things. The eyelids bone, let's just hide these things for now. Wrist pencil, I don't want to watch that. Then, well, maybe it's better to have this as easier to map. The last bone this one I can place it after, otherwise it's too annoying, so I don't want to select it. Okay, it's snapping, so here I can get this somewhere like there. I want to snap it to the eye surface, not to the eyelid surface, but this is difficult to be certain of, so yeah, it's a bit difficult, so it's not imperative. So I can use let's use the eyelid mesh, whatever, as a reference for that. So this would be, the eye will close in this way. There's some tilt, so that's why I'm not pushing it there nor here. Somewhere more like here would be fine. Then this one, yes, it should be there at this tip. Hold on. There, this double selection, somewhere like here. And then for this bone, in principle, it should match there, but since there's too much gap in there, if I put it there, yes, it would be logical, but let's not do that. Actually, this bone should be the one that should have some very rotation this way, but for this it would require more segments, like 10 segments, and I could make, but I'm not sure this is a great idea, so let's just make some slight rotation there. Let's keep those segments augmented, right? Maybe not that much, just 8. And this has 6, and this has 6, and this has 6. Alright, that's fine for me. Just this one, which might be more complex, it gets more. Alright, so here, as we said, I'll put it here. Then these ones without the eyelashes, it goes right there. Then here, same thing, but here the eyelid close like that, but it's slightly inward, so it's not here. It will be something like here would be fine. Yeah, so this is more verticalized, slightly more verticalized than that one. And here, for this last handle and bendy bone, we'll place this exactly somewhere like here. No, it's not the last, there's still, so same here, we'll leave some gap, and this is the last one actually. So I want this to be differently than what I was doing before. This will be, yeah, the gap will be, well, not smaller, mostly the same size, but it will be lower. So the eyelid it will be easier to control, I think. Yeah. So put it like here, and this, I'll even risk it closer. Okay. Maybe here I can do something like that too. Let's risk a little more tilting here. Alright. No. Okay, folks. Going to now for the positioning of this so it's cursor to select, so it goes right in the middle of the handle bones, and then selection to cursor. What is this one? Not confused. This is for the... Yeah, I need to repose that. It looks very bad position, but this is not the eyelid. This is the orbicularis oculi deforms. This is the eyelid. And I think this is the last one. No, there's 2 more remaining. This from the bottom, this is from the top. There we go. I'm gonna save. I'm going to readjust these ones now. Let's see. Something like here seems likely. Yes. What about that one? Don't want this selected. Let's derotate that. Looks good enough. Could I approach? No, I think it should be slightly above that. It's fine. And this... Okay, there is this thing we should care about too. Some... Let's try to see if we can improve these rotations as well. Alright, so this sounds good enough. Now everything there is going crazy because I need to... Yeah, now there's a lot of bone constraints. This can be a bit messy. Let's just reset and see what happens. Anyways, I'll have to reset. So starting from the eye lead, right? Okay, so you got some issues here. The eyelids have bone constraints, so I need to reset or do it manually, right? But in principle, I need to reset these while these bones don't have any bone constraint working on them. So this is pretty annoying. We'll see. It will be like on a rest position, right? Okay, so. But since those things look too ugly, let's just reset everything here. As a first stage, right, of reset, then we start working on the rest. So let's disable everything here. Disable everything here. Disable everything here. Disable everything here, disable everything here, and disable everything here. Then we reset, reset, reset. Look how beautiful the curves are. Now reset, and now we pick this, we renable, then we pick this, we renable, and then we pick this and renable. Okay, this part looks a bit bizarre. Yeah, so much more organized right now. And for the other ones, they have the bendy bones. It's just the stretch for the bendy bones. So let's hide everything, although it's copy location and copy transform, so it wouldn't have hide for everything. Copy transforms, copy transforms, copy location. Okay, so apparently just these ones in the middle have copy locations and other system already disabled. What about these ones? This, okay, just in case. Then now let's, oh, by the way, I haven't done this for this one, so let's disable that. Reset, reset. Now it works. Okay, then these ones are not related to the bendy bone, so that's okay. Doing oh, there's a message in a chat. Hold on, let me. Thank you for doing this. Keep up. Thank you for watching and commenting. Yeah, rigging, it's not like something very popular, right? Like perhaps modeling, sculpting. There are a lot of other things that are attract more watchers and more interest. Rigging is also very complicated, right? It's nice to have some live streaming on that, I've thought. So this is a custom rig, by the way, so it can be very inadequate for a lot of projects, but for a personal project or perhaps on a production on a team that requires the project, oh, I want exactly, I like this idea, I want to procure myself something like that, and then you get some inspiration for some different approach of, so therefore certain solutions that I make here, for example, can be useful. Otherwise, there's Rigify add-on. There are a lot of things, right, that can solve plenty of those problematics on simpler ways, perhaps, on more automated ways. If you have any questions, feel free to put in the chat. I'm watching. Thanks again for participating. Alright, so let's see what I was doing here. I want to, yes, I wanted to reset these things, not that in principle okay, here's slightly reset, so here too, this, because the bone constraints of these bones didn't really affect these, the same bones, right? This bone's position, right? You see, as I enable the copy transforms, nothing changed, so that makes that we don't have their bone constraints wouldn't be detrimental to the bendy bone's original length. Of course, this copy transform, what actually is, it is something related to this master bone here, I guess. I contour top left, I contour top, yes, and this is shrink wrapped, this is shrink wrapped, but enable this, yeah, it's very slightly changed. Otherwise it will change everything. So this small change here I could avoid if I gave it something like instead of, let's see, okay, 0.3 does nothing. Okay, so this is a safer, at least in regarding the bone constraints, every time if I want to reset those things. So this means that this I can just reset usually without having to deal with any disabling of bone constraints. So this is, in part, this is a good thing, easier to maintain, right? But I forgot to enable no, everything is re-enabled, so alright, so these bones, they could change the original position of this. So because the rest positions of this bone don't change at all, differently from what's happening on these bones, for some reason that I need to address. This shifting of position may be a problem, but if they are not ruining the rest pose, then that's okay. Finally let's re-show the eyelashes so we can see better what's happening here. Okay, so I still have a hard time to find out the closed, easily a closed pose here, but this is happening because before I had a rest position for the eyes when the eyes started closed. So okay, this was given. This pose was given. I intended to change it so that I could collapse the mesh of the eyelids. Here I could have this mesh collapse for the eyelids already on the starting position, the rest position, and so this would so I wouldn't have to collapse this mechanically through rigging. However, I encounter another different problem now, which is how to properly, smoothly close the eyes, because now they have to reach for a new pose. Once I found the neutral ideal one by adjusting these shapes, whatever, I have a lot of ways to do that anyway, so this is perfectly feasible in this rig. It just takes some extra time. Then I create a pose asset for the closed eyes, and then I never have to have to attempt to manually reclose the eyes like this, right? But it should be easy. So just easy like that, pushing this bone down. It's just that the eyelashes are not collaborating very well, right? As you can see, there are some interpenetrations there. We can work on that through posing in these conditions, but it's not good enough. Probably I'll need to change how the eyelashes are deforming, right? And here there's this curvature here that is tilted in a bad way. After this transforms, the shape of the top eyelash and bottom eyelash are not very good, but at least, yeah, we're improving what I've made previously. I've changed the eye contour. The eye contour was very bad according to the model sheets. Maybe we're following that, maybe not. So here I had to readdress the model sheet, I mean the 3D model, in relation to the model sheet, and then find out that the eye was really smaller than it should be, and now I believe it's a bit too large. So from one problem extreme to another, but it's not that large that it cannot work. I think it's fine. It's already good animatable. So I think I'm gonna give a pause right now because there's a lot of work involved in this editing, right? I did it for the left side, but now you see there's a difference. There's still some difference in the rest position of the mesh and this. So I'm not sure what's causing this. You see that the eyelids and mesh protrude towards the eye, so this is not very, it's not exactly what for a rest pose what we wanted. Oh, maybe it's this bone, it's just that bone that is, it's its bone constraints, of course. Yeah, so it's a shrink wrap. Okay, the shrink wrap is, maybe I have to change this distance. Oh, I see what's happening. Alright, it's shrink wrapping to another object, which perhaps I need to readapt now that I've changed the eye surface. It is... yeah, let's do this before the end. So here's the shrink wrapping eye stuff. Target, right? Because I've changed the eye surface, now I should... if I change this mesh, let's simplify this thing. Yes, this is really, let's use proportional editing and certainly not snapping in this case. Let's try to adapt this very closely to the eye surface. Let's see how it is. Yeah, very small. Let's smooth everything out. Yeah, it's hard to see everything properly from what's I see. This is not following closely in the curvature of the eyes, right? Let's try to give some more rotation here. Apparently now this is more important than it was before. And for this, from a side view, this, it's like a grid, right? I could certainly remake this object just by duplicating the eye, and yeah, we could do that. But it's a simple object, so doesn't need to be that way. And we want these bones actually to, well, I wanted before, maybe I don't want anymore. We want these bones to be floating on top of that surface, so not exactly on top of the eye, but maybe this is not a really good idea after all. So let's see now. If I shrink wrap, it apparently goes lesser, but if I augment, it goes way more. So the event is still happening. Maybe I need to shrink wrap it to 0 above surface. Okay. What about this? Well, this one doesn't shrink wrap because as these ones, they get crazy with the shrink wrapping bone constraint for some reason. So this dump track, yeah, maybe a lower dump track, 0.3 should be fine. Found out. And for this one, could have some curvature like that, so 0.4. We can always do that manually. So do we need that for the rest pose? Something like that. What about this one? Dump track 0.6 then. Yeah, so it's trying to track that bone's position using its y-axis, and this its negative y-axis. So they are, because these bendy bone splines, they are going towards that direction, and these ones, they grow in that direction. Then they do not loop, it ends right there, it ends right there. They are independent bendy bone splines sequences. They are independent one to each other. We can make a circular, a looping one, just like this one. This one for the eye contour is a looping one. So it's, if I'm not wrong, it starts here, 001, 002, then it ends at 006 here, then it collapses, it reconnects here. So this is a looping sequence, and these are not looping sequence. I found out that for at least this eyelids rig, it's better to have this gapping. And sometimes we can make a C shape, like, or an inverse C shape, that works too, but they work separated very well. You see that part, really, no, it's just wave painting. Alright, let's take a little risk here. So I'm fixing the pose, the rest pose for these bones. Even though this looks a bit weird, the bendy bone, it's not like that this rotation affects the mesh, the deforms very much, so this is okay. And usually you don't see the deformed bones anyway, so that's... Alright, so here this is moving. Okay, there's some interpenetration because I've reduced that. No, it's just the way I was posing. Yeah, okay, some interpenetration there. We can avoid this just by moving this forward. But this is often a bit dangerous, this, yeah. So many times we'll do that, I'll have interpenetration. So this is why I've used that distance. No, still happening. So this is probably happening because I augmented the eye size, so I have to reassess this later. For this one, this is slightly better. Let's hide those things here. Yeah, lots of expressions we can already do. What's that? Eyelids mesh, right? Yeah, alright. Okay, then we can, of course, change these shapes by individual or using the main bone. It's supposed to be easy, not too complicated. The cool thing is that you can get a lot of cool expressions by playing with those bones. We should be able, right? Here I think... Oh, I see. I'll have to work on that expression here for the eyelids. Okay, let's bring this down. Okay, so here's something to work out in terms of expressions. Yeah. Something about the waves here are not adequated. So maybe the bendy bone here should have more influence on that part of the mesh. We don't see the mesh here because the eyelids mesh is collapsed. This is subdivided. It's just one extra subdivision, so it's probably 1, 2. Yeah, there's... I remember that I have reduced one subdivision also. Maybe this was a mistake. Alright, so but it's clear that if we want that expression better. Here it's okay for the orbicularis oculi, for a sad expression here, but not for the eyelid, nor for the eyelash. The eyelash is another problem. It's probably the last thing, so maybe I need to address. A good plan for me in this case would be to, trying to solve the eyelash, the eyelids first, independently of the eyelash if I can, the eyelashes, and then once I have all the possibilities of expressions for the eyelids in collaboration with these things, then I can jump to the last stage and fixing the eyelashes. Currently we can make some expressions, but many expressions, but many of them are not very good yet. Have to, and there are some posing things that are strange. What is that? Because of the shrink wrap? No, you have some strange motion there. Maybe it's dumped track. Oh, the dumped track, it's moving on global. Okay, so the dumped track has some responsibility in making this crazy motion. This is not interesting. If it, oh, it's a too large dumped track, that's why. Maybe that's why. So as this moves up, when it is down, no, it's still. Let's try to get it like 0.4. Let's see what happens. Sounds a bit better, but still bad. So maybe as soon as I want this, it's slightly better. Isn't there anything I can do about this thing? What if I go that after the shrink wrap? Let's try out. No, still have the same problem. I've just reduced it from 0.8 to 0.5. It just, you see the cursor, I move up and then the bone starts to get displaced, offset to other. You see on many, this is the dumped track, it's rotating, and this rotation forces the position itself to be changed. Has nothing to do with head or tail. Although to be more precise, it should be the center. So let's, if I keep using these anyways, let's use the center. But for most of them, they have 0.5, 0.3 influence, 0.6. This one also suffers a little. We can reduce this. Better posing. Yes, we can do that. It will be detrimental to the automation, but I think posing is more important, and then doesn't take a lot of time to pose these things, right? So here we go. This doesn't have the shrink wrap enabled. Hold on. Alright, then the shrink wrap, we can put it slightly forward. The bone will be floating. The mesh will still, except for the eyelash mesh, the eyelids mesh will still be shrink wrapping to the eye surface. So you see, we can have although this changed the rest pose, right, like that. So So we must be careful with that. Otherwise, if we don't use these at all, we can have... there's another thing that I can already start with those bones. It might not be a bad idea to displace them from the mesh, right? I get them, the bones themselves, starting the rest positions above the mesh. Should work. Then for posing, for deformings, the deformings should answer similarly. So this could be an alternative to this problem of shrink wrapping. Then maybe instead of shrink wrap, I could use some sort of limit distance outside. Then there's a starting, it would be like that. I came up with this idea of having the bones snapping onto the thing, but this just like these ones. But the orbicularis oculi, right? But maybe this is not the best approach for the eyelids. Alright, I have to give it a thought, but for now, thanks for watching, folks. I think I'll be back today or in a few hours, not sure, but yes, there are a lot of things to do here and making important progress. So I'll take notes, annotations on the next tasks, and I hope with a few more videos live on this topic I can ultimately conclude this thing. And for now, let me do something else. I forgot something important. No, I'll leave it for later. Symmetrize. Yeah, because things are different from each side. See ya, folks. Happy blending and take care. Bye.